When it comes to conversations about identity, few public figures have been as open, authentic, and influential as Melissa Etheridge. A trailblazer in both music and LGBTQ+ visibility, Etheridge has long used her platform to normalize discussions around sexuality, family, and acceptance. But in a surprising and deeply human story, the Grammy-winning artist recently recalled a moment that flipped the traditional, coming out, narrative on its head, when her 11-year-old son nervously came out to her, as straight. The story, at once humorous, tender, and thought-provoking, offers a powerful look into parenting, expectations, and the evolving nature of identity conversations in modern families. A household where honesty was always welcome. For decades, Melissa Etheridge has stood as a proud and vocal member of the LGBTQ+ community. After publicly coming out in 1993, she became one of the most recognizable lesbian artists in the world, blending deeply personal storytelling with rock-infused anthems that resonated with millions. Her openness extended beyond her music into her personal life. Etheridge has always emphasized creating a home environment where her children felt safe to express themselves, no matter what that meant. So when her son approached her at the age of 11 with something serious on his mind, she knew it was a moment that mattered. "Mom, I'm sorry." Etheridge recalled that her son came to her with a sense of nervousness, almost as if he were bracing himself for a difficult reaction. What he said next surprised her, not because of its content, but because of the emotion behind it. "Mom, I'm sorry," he began. For a moment, Etheridge didn't understand why he would apologize. In a household rooted in love and acceptance, there was never a reason for her children to feel fear about being themselves. Then he said it. He was straight. A role reversal that says everything. In many families, particularly those shaped by more traditional norms, coming out as LGBTQ+ can be a moment filled with fear, uncertainty, and vulnerability. But in Etheridge's home, the dynamic was reversed. Her son wasn't afraid of rejection for being different, he was worried about disappointing his mother by being what society often considers the default. That moment speaks volumes about the environment Etheridge had created. In her world, queerness wasn't something to be feared or hidden, it was normalized, celebrated, and understood. So much so that her son felt like he might be the one who didn't fit expectations. Etheridge's reaction: love, first and always. Rather than being confused or upset, Etheridge responded in the way she always had, as a parent first. She reassured her son immediately that there was absolutely nothing to apologize for. His identity, whatever it might be, was valid and worthy of love. The moment became less about labels and more about connection, a reminder that the essence of parenting isn't about shaping children into specific identities, but about supporting them as they discover who they are. The power of perspective. This story resonates because it flips a familiar narrative. It invites us to imagine what the world might look like if acceptance were truly universal, if every child, regardless of identity, felt safe enough to speak their truth. In Etheridge's household, her son's apology wasn't rooted in fear of rejection, it was rooted in love and concern for his mother's feelings. That distinction is powerful. It suggests a world where identity conversations are no longer fraught with danger, but instead approached with openness and empathy. Breaking down expectations. Even in progressive households, unspoken expectations can exist. Children often pick up on cues, what their parents value, what they celebrate, and what seems normal within their immediate environment. For Etheridge's son, growing up with a proud LGBTQ+ parent may have shaped his perception of what his mother might expect. His apology wasn't about shame, it was about navigating those perceived expectations. Etheridge's response dismantled that immediately, reinforcing a crucial message: there is no right or wrong way to be. A teachable moment for families everywhere. The story has struck a chord with many parents and families, not just within the LGBTQ+ community but beyond it. It highlights several important lessons. Create safe spaces for open dialogue. Children should feel comfortable expressing themselves without fear. Avoid assumptions about identity. Whether a child is LGBTQ+ or not, their journey is their own. Led with love, not expectations. Acceptance should never be conditional. Normalize all identities. True equality means removing hierarchy from identity altogether. Humor meets heart. Etheridge has shared the story with a sense of humor, acknowledging the irony of the situation. But beneath the lighthearted tone lies a deeply meaningful message. The idea of a child apologizing for being straight might sound amusing on the surface, but it underscores how far society has come in some spaces, and how far it still has to go in others. A life shaped by advocacy. Melissa Etheridge's reaction to her son's revelation wasn't surprising to those familiar with her life's work. Throughout her career, she has championed authenticity, from her early hits like "Come to My Window" to her continued advocacy for LGBTQ+ rights. Her journey has included personal triumphs and challenges, including her battle with breast cancer and her openness about family life. Each chapter has reinforced her commitment to honesty, and that commitment clearly extends to her parenting. Redefining coming out. Traditionally, coming out has been associated with LGBTQ+ individuals sharing their identities with others. But Etheridge's story expands that definition. At its core, coming out is about vulnerability, about telling someone something deeply personal and hoping for acceptance. In that sense, her son's moment fits the definition perfectly. The broader cultural impact. Stories like this matter because they reflect shifting cultural norms. As conversations around identity become more inclusive, the goal isn't to replace one norm with another, it's to eliminate the idea of a norm altogether. Etheridge's experience shows what that might look like in practice, a world where identity isn't a source of fear, but simply a fact of life. Parenting without conditions. One of the most powerful aspects of Etheridge's story is its simplicity. There were no dramatic speeches, no long explanations, just a parent reassuring her child that he was loved exactly as he is. That simplicity is what makes it so impactful. A moment that stays with you. For Etheridge, the memory is one she carries with both humor and pride. It represents not just a funny anecdote, but a milestone in her journey as a parent. It's a reminder that the values she's lived by, authenticity, acceptance, and love, have taken root in her children. What this means moving forward. As society continues to evolve, stories like this serve as markers of progress. They show what's possible when acceptance becomes the norm rather than the exception. But they also serve as a reminder. True acceptance isn't about celebrating one identity over another, it's about creating space for all identities to exist equally. Final thoughts. Melissa Etheridge's story about her son coming out as straight is more than just a headline, it's a reflection of changing times, evolving conversations, and the enduring importance of unconditional love. In a world where many still struggle to be accepted for who they are, this moment offers a glimpse of what acceptance can look like at its best.